Hey, what's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday fun day. I hope y'all are having fun. As for me, it's all right. It's hot. It's hot as monkey balls. It's hot outside. I'm hot flashing. So if I throw my hot flash fan on, when is Angela Oakley gonna come out with them fans? Cause I'm gonna need one of those. Anyway, y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel. We're here for Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's season 10. It's episode 2. I didn't mind this show. This episode. I didn't mind this episode. This episode was all right to me. It was some interesting shout out to Jalen for being transparent. They like to throw that word transparent around. Shout out to Will for being that friend that really tell you like the truth, not be beady bushing around the bush. Anyway, where do we start? Um, apparently Marquez Marquez has production mixed up with security. He was over here in this man's house, Ken. Marquez, why you get this man worked up like that? I mean, I realize that he's a troll. He's a troll that I enjoy, to be honest. I don't care what y'all say. I realize he's toxic, she's toxic. They all got a little toxicity going on, but this one right here is entertaining on television. I'm sure in real life, it's not so much, especially if you're Ken and Trisha. But I'm still gonna give Trisha a little bit of that. You the one got his ass around here, still matrimony to the man. So these are the problems that you're gonna have to deal with. This man got Ken all worked up. Marquez got Ken all worked up. And then, Ken had to bounce him. I had to throw somebody out of my house once. And it wasn't a good feeling. I didn't have to go, result to fisticuffs. Although in that moment I probably would have. But my roommate's cousin girlfriend kept coming to my house not acknowledging my presence. And I was like, you can speak when you walk in. I finally, after like the 10th time, I was like, you can say hello when you walk in my house, lady. I don't know you. Like, there's no point in being rude. And so she gave me attitude right back. I feel like she pretty much let me know that she ain't got to speak to me if she don't want to. And so I told her she could leave. And she refused to leave. So I picked up her purse and threw it down the hallway. I was living in an apartment. So, go get your purse, girl, out of my house. That's how that went. Anyway, I'm not big and strong like Ken over here, and Marquez, I'm probably stronger than him, but I feel like he should have been playing games in that man's face. Like, you can tell when you took it too far. You ever be trolling? I'm not a troll, but you ever be trolling and you take it too far, and you can tell, like, by the times this man has got smoke coming out of his ears and his nostrils are all flared up and his eyeballs are turning red, you should feel like it's time to back out. Go ahead and leave. You've gone too far, Marquez. Anyway, this is disturbing. I picked this picture because Ken sits here and Trisha sits here and Marquez sits here, and they all like talk in these very calm voices, and they tell each other how they're only trying to do what's best for the kids, and we love the kids, and I love my kids, and this is my family, my kids. So this man's son had to, witness this altercation. We're going to call it that because behind the scenes, we didn't see what was happening, but we heard a lot of thumping and thudding and da-da-da-da-da-da. So I feel like based on the way Marquez marched his happy ass up out of there once he realized production and security are not the same thing. But look at the exchange between him and his son. His son is trying to calm the situation down. Trisha's friend is trying to calm the situation down. Trisha low-key probably amping the thing up. I don't know what she was doing in the background, but not protecting her children. None of the adults were. They knew the kids was upstairs, and they allowed it to get to this point over what? Over divorce papers that have not. Are y'all divorced? Because y'all was signing papers last season. It was a lot of divorce paper signing last season, down to the restaurant where Marquez was having tears and things over a glass of whiskey. Trisha was over there inviting Destiny to watch the what do you call the person that comes, the notary? Yeah. Watching the notary come watch Trisha sign the divorce papers without all the parties present. So that's not how that works. So, we're stupid. though, Trisha. Anyway, this was ugly, y'all. So play silly games and then you get stupid prizes. This ain't no prize. This is right here. The trauma that Ken says these kids don't have feels like it's trauma, Ken. Feels like the perfection ain't perfecting. That's all I'm saying. Trisha, if you don't want this kind of foolishness in your house, get a freaking divorce. Divorce this man and tell Ken I'm not trying to matrimony you. We can keep doing what we're doing, and this man can stand out on the porch or stay in his car. We'll send the kids. These are not toddlers. These are not babies. We can just send them outside when you decide to come around for filming, because we know you don't live in Atlanta. Playing in our face. That's why Ken is so mad. So at the end of the day, I guess you and Trisha gonna have to figure out a way to become more entertaining. I tell you what, I would definitely like to replace the Marquez with a Will. Because at least Will be saying it like it is. Is he single? Destiny. Why don't you take your son over there? Kimmy, you suck as a friend. Destiny, take your kid, your son, Law. Law should be old enough to get a haircut by now. Take Law over to the Wicked Gentleman's barbershop. See what's up with Will. If Will is married or in a relationship, girl, then don't do it. I'm just saying, if he's single, do your research first. Ask Ken. Ask Trisha. Trisha's your girl. Ask Trisha. What's up with Will down to the Wicked Gentleman's barbershop? If she say he got a lady, then stay your ass from around there. I'm just saying, you be over here dating people's, high school children that just graduated. Some of them have, several baby mamas. What's up, El Cid? Dang, you just, from one, El Cid just left her own life. So if y'all want to, love blindly around the world, she got a lot going on. She was just over there giving unsolicited advice. She's down there. Haven't done Project Runway yet. I'm working on that. That'll be happening sometime today. Anyway, check out your girl, El Cid 932. She got a hope. Is it 932? Yes, 932. Trying to remember all the things in my brain is, doesn't work like it used to. Anyway, that's all I feel like all I got over there. Destiny, do your research. Don't just run over there wrecking people's homes, and stay away from college campuses. Just saying. Kimmy says she's having date night with Maurice. And I'm like, this is not date night, Kimmy. This is at home night. But you could call it what you want to call it. Kimmy says she stopped by Jalen's house. Apparently, Maurice has this great idea where they're going to have a family business where it involves him and Kimmy and who else? Jalen and Monster. Monster's 12. I don't know what his role is going to be in the business, but Maurice likes to sound like he knows things and he kind of doesn't. It's kind of stupid. Is it hard to pass? Some people are book smart. Like, just because you're able to pass a test doesn't mean you got any type of good sense. It just means you've got a good memory. That's it. That's all. Kimmy, out of her own mouth, said he works little and talks a lot. Kimmy, that was your description of your man. So we did not say this. Kimmy, you said this. You said he works little and talks a lot. Jalen knows that. Jalen don't want no parts of that. He don't want to be bothered with no more of the Scotts and their businesses. He got his own business. He's a grown man. Jalen says he doesn't see Maurice as a father figure. Well, duh. None of us do. Kimmy, you're bringing this up like in this matter. The way Kimmy does. She smiles the whole time she's saying something that's not really something that she should be smiling about. So I'm not sure what that body language is all about. Is there any body language readers out there that can tell us why Kimmy be grinning while she's saying serious things? So she's sitting there, while she's on her date night having tea by her own fireplace that she made for Maurice. So he could sit there and do little and talk a lot. Her words, not mine. Anyway. She said she went around to Jalen's house. Sorry, he does not want any parts of the family business. And he said, as a matter of fact, he really don't see you as no father figure. clearly this isn't news to Kimmy. So I want to know, like, why you ignored that. Like, how old was Jalen when you got with Maurice? At this point, he had to be a teenager. I know we've gone through him graduated from college and stuff, so he had to be a teenager because y'all were a family before, hell, you was together 8 years before he finally married you. And at this point, that's almost 8 years. So, he was clearly a young child. What happened? Did I skip something? Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I feel like I flipped the page before I should have. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Jalen was a young teenager when Kimmy got with Maurice, and how do you make that work? But I feel like Maurice been doing this thing, like his relationship with Monster. He brought Monster there for Kimmy to take care of. Once again, we could refer back to her first statement. He works little and talks a lot. So, Monster, when he's there, is your responsibility. And then Monster, while she was in the process of treating cancer, she was also left to take care of Monster because that's a woman's work. Anyway, Kimmy, next time, well, at this point, this is what she does. But I would really want to know, I would like to know why she's smiling during serious conversations, because nothing funny about that. I don't know, like when you were blending this family, why you wanted to keep going. When what's her name? Camille and I don't know her man's name, over on Ready to Love. When they had their fake wedding over here at the beginning of this season, during their vows, she said to him that she appreciated him for showing her son what it looks like to love her mother, his mother. Yes. I feel like, I'm paraphrasing, but it felt like something like that. And I was like, that's such a good reason, to make somebody a part of your family. If marriage is what you want, then, cool. Hey, T. Yeah, I feel like when you're introducing someone into your family, I thought it was cool that that's the outlook that she had on this man. You, Kimmy, were watching this man not be close to your son, and you kept moving forward with it. You were determined to do it. So that's on you. You can bring it up now with a smile on your face and act like, hey, Monique, happy Sunday, everyone, she said. You can act like, you nonchalantly work your way through this conversation is not to upset Maurice, because that's what it seems like was happening over here. But anyway, Kimmy, she on bullshit. It's so unfortunate. The Fletchers are at their house. Man, when they pan into that house, like from the what do you call that thing? The drone perspective. The Fletchers' house is freaking gorgeous. Like, beautiful home. I'm just saying. I would probably upgrade my kitchen now. It's getting a little outdated, but that's fine because I don't own my home. And from what I understand, updating a kitchen is probably one of the most expensive things you could do. But, it's a beautiful home, but I feel like maybe she should call Destiny's friend in to help her. Scratch that. I feel like her and Destiny aren't cool. So Nell is trying to figure out her relationships with these girls. Because her homegirl, Melanie Cherie, that's right, I said it. She's not here. She left y'all behind and, to handle it without her. Honestly, please don't come like those tiki torches at my house or anything. But it feels like since Mel didn't have any relationship with these people anyway, it feels kind of better to me to see how they gonna fly without her, because her presence was only creating tension between her and every freaking body on this cast. She didn't have no friends over here. Even her and Nell were on tension, before she left. So Nell is over here now trying to figure out where she stands with these ladies. And we're trying to figure out now who's the queen of the show. Is it going to be Tisha or is it going to be Kimmy? Let's start a poll. Who's the queen of the show? Don't say there's no queens, because we're going to work with what we got to work with. We're over here watching it. Now, I don't know. I guess we'll see. They're both a little problematic, but they're both like trying to lead the show. Who's the real leader? Anyway, neither one of them, but I digress. Now it's talking about the discord between her and Destiny, which were they that cool? Because Nell is saying that she was over here counseling somebody. Nell, is being your friend meaning that just because I'm younger than you, because it damn sure don't make you wiser than me, because you got a lot of foolishness going on within your own household. So you're counseling these people just because you're spending time with them. Like you're on a cast of a show that I'm on or trying to be back on or whatever the situation is. And if I'm talking and having conversations with you and trying to build a relationship with you, that does not make you my counselor. I feel like friends lean on each other. Nell gets in these situations with these younger girls, and then you want to be their friend, and you get all irritated when they call you the older lady of the group, but then you want to claim to be their mentor and their counselor. Girl, people like friends give advice to friends based on their life experiences. So just relax. Now you mad at Destiny because of her relationship with Lance. I really wish y'all would like stop doing that. Like stop pretending like Destiny has some type of relationship with Lance. Destiny, keep your paws off your coworkers' kids. It just makes things messy. I would not be comfortable necessarily with my son having a relationship with one of my coworkers unless like, I don't know, just don't do it. It just makes things messy. You know, Destiny, you were older than her son. I feel like if y'all's relationship had been a little more equally yoked, you got to decide, like, are you going to be friends with Nell or, you know, smash her son? And if you're going to smash her son, just do it in secret. Don't tell the public because we was looking at you crazy. And we still kind of are, but for different reasons. Anyway, it's ladies' night. Everyone's there except Destiny. Ciao. So Destiny, according to Kimmy, Kimmy said that Destiny is out in these TikTok streets. And I was like, doing what? What is she doing over in the TikTok streets? I know Stormy was in the TikTok streets, you know, breaking record numbers and things, and Mel be over there on the TikTok streets, and she, you know, selling her 7th Avenue, and everybody is taking this business very seriously. I could have uploaded it, but I didn't. If you're that interested, go over to Destiny's TikTok streets. She's got this random white lady that we don't know sitting somewhere talking about her Spratty body mist. By the way, went to the website. Unfortunately, if y'all didn't go over there before the season, the Destiny got out of jail t-shirts, and I don't remember what her t-shirt said. It was something Big D energy, and yeah, I don't know. It was a bunch of t-shirts and mugs with Destiny's picture on it and things. You can't get any of those, you know, novelty items anymore. But what you can get is the $64 broken hearted candle that I believe she outsourced from a business. So she's definitely not making those candles over in her storage unit. And she's got the body mist, Sugar Daddy or something. I don't remember the name of one of them. And the other one is Rich Girl. Rich Girl, formerly known as Big D Energy. So the Big D Energy is no longer a thing. Destiny's turned over a new leaf. She's got 4 products for y'all, and she's building out a bigger storage unit with a decorator so she can put her 2 candles and 2 body sprays in. Anyway, she's not there. I feel like, you know, that's as much that we need to know about Destiny. Destiny is a scammer. $64 for a broken-hearted candle, girl. I could go down to TJ Maxx and give me a very nice $6 candle, and it smells lovely, and, you know, it's not broken-hearted, but at the end of the day, I got to throw the container away. Destiny. They sit down. You know, this is a very awkward group. Trisha, you know, she is not rooted in with the rest of these ladies. Trisha isn't. Hey, Shayna. Trisha is an implant. Tisha and Kimmy have a relationship that they're kind of forced to have, because that one time when Kimmy said she really wouldn't fool with Tisha outside of this show, I think she still don't. So let's don't get that twisted. And Miss Nell, you don't have a relationship with them either. So now we're going to try to force this foursome friendship of people. Trisha tells them about the whole altercation that happened at her house with Marquez. But in no parts of that story did she say that they're divorced or signing divorce papers. It was just a bunch of arguing that I feel like they do on a regular basis. Kimmy tells them about Maurice and Jalen and the whole, situation with those two. And she said, Maurice is a very hands-off. He's very hands-off. He's a very hands-off father. He's a hands-off father who doesn't do much and talks a lot. This man that you, this king of yours, Kimmy, that you speak of, I'm just wondering, like, why is that okay with you, though, Kimmy? Like, he doesn't do much. He's very hands-off. He didn't make very much of an impression on your son, or act like, I guess, he wanted to build any type of relationship with him. You acting like this is new information, but clearly like you've known the whole time. Tisha says Jalen needs to embrace Maurice as a father. And I'm like, girl, why are we putting responsibility on Jalen? At this point, Jalen is not a little boy anymore. He's a grown-ass man making his own decisions. So he doesn't need some other grown-ass man who talks a lot but doesn't do much and is very hands-off. Why does he need to work hard to build a relationship with this dude? What is he so busy doing? I got an idea. He's probably over there getting somebody to sign an NDA while he bends him over a chair over to the credit one. That's right, I said it. I don't care about his reputation and besmirching and all of that stuff. I said probably, allegedly, Your Honor, because he like to be out here ceasing and desisting YouTubers. I don't need that in my life. Yeah, I don't think that's on Jalen. I think that's on Maurice, but maybe he's just not that guy. Clearly he's not. I feel like that's he's the same kind of husband as he is father. Like we saw how he gets down over there at the cancer center, asking you to also bend over in between bitches, I suppose. They asked her, Miss Nell, like what she got going on. They're having this little chit chat, and Miss Nell claims that neither she nor Lance knew that some woman that Lance had been dealing with for the last 5 years was pregnant. She just popped a baby on him. And I'm going to say Miss Nell maybe didn't know, but Lance definitely knew. He probably just didn't tell you because he didn't want you to know that he got another baby out here. I mean, at least it's with somebody. Is this a baby mama? She's keeps saying she's transparent, but I have so many questions, Miss Nell. Jeez. And then she's acting like, oh my God, I thought this was supposed to be a ladies' dinner. I thought we were having a ladies' night. I didn't know we were going to have a inquisition over here. Isn't that what you do on ladies' night? Like get together and start talking about the things that you got going on in your life. These things that are going on in your life, all y'all's life, has taken place on social media. So it would be weird for you not to say anything. Both of y'all, Nell and Tisha. That's what you do. You sit over here and you're like, what's going on? Lance was over here saying that he was dating Destiny the whole time. He had a baby on the way while he's trying to act like he's in his feelings about Destiny, Miss Nell. And all she had to say was, you're right. And I try to stay out of that because it's an awkward position to be in with Destiny dating my son. What else? No, she wanted to get irritated by the question. It ain't even that serious. And so now she coming back at Tisha. So Tisha, what did you think about what Martell says about y'all's husbands on that interview he did? Well, again, ladies, I feel like it would be odd not to bring it up. What he said was him and some girl Had some girl over there saying that she was going in between the both of those brothers along with other floozies down at the Credit One. Whether there were NDAs signed, I don't know. Apparently, if they did sign NDAs, they have expired because this lady was over here with Martell telling all the tea about the things that she experienced between the two of them. She even thought one of them, Kimmy, I believe it, no, Marceau. She thought Marceau was her boyfriend. I don't know if she thought that. It was a hot mess. What's her name? Trish. Trish said this was a ghetto hot mess. It was. We were all looking at it like, what the what? Even liars, though, they be weaving bits and pieces of the truth in their story. And I feel like your husbands, both Maurice and Marceau, had a little bit of weave up in that story. That now the whole Chris Fletcher saying the NDA thing. Well, Tisha said she and Marceau covered the whole story and their feelings about it on her live. And if you want to know the question, if you want to know how I feel about it, then you're welcome to go to her live and figure it out. Tisha, we are at dinner. I'm not going to your live. I'm not one of the Huntsville fans. I'm sitting right here. Like, we're supposed to be having a relationship. So maybe you can run it by me. Like, if it's on live, then why are you so uncomfortable rehashing it here on the show? Girl, I did it on live. Who following you on your live? Shoot, Miss Wanda. Even Miss Wanda came over here with questions. So don't act, girl. Everybody was like, Marcel. What was Martell over there talking about? At some point, they're going to confront Martell about, what Tisha said about him. She said it was no lies told. That's what she said. Kimmy said it wasn't even believable. Yeah, it was. It was believable. Some of it was. Like, it was all those things that y'all said. It was that. Kimmy kept saying that. Are you calling that girl that? It was giving that. I'm not mad at that. Anyway, that and them and they and all of them were down to Credit One doing something. Just saying. Her and some other folks. It was parties going on. We heard about the parties down to Credit One. Anyway. Kimmy said Maurice felt away because Chris Fletcher was over there saying that him and Marceau be having these people sign NDAs. And that was like, that's my husband. I can't be responsible for what he's saying. But if he's making Maurice feel some type of way, then, I'll have a conversation with him. Why just Maurice? I guess he can't be friends with Marceau because Martell got Chris in his pocket. And they talk to each other every single day. So Martell and Marceau are out, then Chris and Marceau got to be out. But Maurice, up until now, was neutral. So we have to, we can't make that a mess because, then it'll be completely divided. And nobody gonna sit there and watch Chris and Martell. You need ingredients to your stew. And this stew over here is fighting for, add something, child. I don't know. I don't know what ingredients y'all need. I'll have to think about that one. What's his name? Marquez can't always be here because he gets on people's nerves to the point where they want to rock him, sock his ass. So we got to put him on hold for a minute. Maurice has a meetup with Jalen. Apparently, Jalen has a job opportunity in Colorado, and, he's been doing IT, he says. I think that would be, honestly, a great opportunity for him. I hope Jalen takes advantage of that opportunity to leave Huntsville and go to Colorado. Just to experience something else. Even if he doesn't stay there, it's okay to go live somewhere for a few years and experience a different kind of culture. He's young and, yeah, I think that would be a great opportunity. Nobody trying to stay here in Huntsville and have a family business led by Maurice. No. And, as far as his properties and things are concerned, he can still keep that. His mother is a realtor and she can make sure his properties are taken care of while he's, off growing as a human being, becoming more broad, not stuck. Maurice brings up this family business, and Jayla said, I know how you Scots operate when it comes to business. He don't want to do business with them. He said, we seen how it played out at Black. Marceau hired him as a GM. He wasn't experienced as a GM. So Marceau like had him winging it, telling him to figure it out. He wasn't there to offer up any type of help. When he says that Marceau is his father figure, that's also scary. I don't know, like based on the way their relationship is, it might be good, for it might be good for just having somebody to talk to. But working in business with them, I'm glad Jalen is smart enough to know I'm gonna keep this separate. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I'm about to go to Colorado and do something else. Marceau will be the one to go travel to Colorado and hang out with him, though. Don't seem like Maurice and Marceau really get along that good when it comes down to it. I guess they're fighting over who's the king. We're a show with no queen and no king. Jalen tells Maurice that he made a difference between him and Monster. I guess he was making Jalen into his do boy. Yes, it was somewhat a confrontation. Maurice thinks when he talks in that stupid manner, like he's being smart. Unfortunately for him, Jalen is way smarter than him. You were so all the way out of your league having a conversation with this very smart young man. He should have left that meeting, at the house with Kimmy. Let her handle it. I mean, let Jalen handle it. He don't need either one of y'all to handle shit. He's doing a fabulous job all on his own. He tells Marceau that he made a difference between him and Monster. He wanted him to go do this and do that, asking him to do things. And he said, obviously, Monster was sitting up there playing video games and wasn't required to do anything. And you were putting it all on Jalen. No, he wasn't listening to anything that he doesn't listen though. It's probably that big ass, thick ass head. When you look at his head and it got them two discs in the side, it's probably really hard for information to infiltrate. That skull is real big. No, Jalen is so intelligent, and what's the name? Maurice said he was raised right by Kimmy. Yeah. Anyway, he was not acknowledging Jalen's feelings at all. He was defending his parenting because that's what he does. His whole, purpose for coming here was to explain to Jalen why he was a good parent. I am actually a good parent, Jalen. It's just, so annoying. Jalen said he kind of take the blame a little bit. Jalen said he fell back a little bit because he didn't want to get his hopes up and get disappointed. And I feel like that made me think of Kimmy. Like, Kimmy, what was going on? Like, he doesn't have his own father around. But what was going on in the beginning of the relationship where you didn't see a bond happening between these two, and what did you think that was going to look like? What did you think it was going to turn into? What'd you say, Shayna? Maurice didn't build a relationship with him. He's not like, he don't have a relationship with either one of them children. Kimmy said it. He just don't put in the work. He just be talking, and that's what he's doing over here. And Jalen knows that. Jalen knows that Maurice is full of shit. That's why he framed it that way. Like, I didn't want to get disappointed, so I just kind of backed off and left him to ponder, what it is he, had to say. Yes, nigga, I felt like Marceau is more of a father figure than you. Do you think I made a difference between you and Monster? He was like, yeah, that's your kid. That's your real son. I'm not your son. Love that. Say it again, Jalen, because that's how you made him feel. He's all shocked. I'm not. You're not. You're my mama's man. That's what you are. And so because I love my mom and we have this great relationship, I'll let her, deal with you if that's what she has the patience to do. That's why when Kimmy got sick, I feel like whatever relationship they had, that really put a strain on, their relationship. Jalen is a grown man, so he's about to tell you exactly what he thinks of you. He's a horrible father all around. He is. Monster be looking at him like he got a third head. But I mean, that one head he got is, it's a distraction. That's for daggone sure. Look at it. It looked like a head on a head. Ken and Fletcher. Ken and Fletcher meet up at the Wicked Gentleman's Barbershop. That's a nice establishment. I don't know where the barbers be, but I mean, I guess, we're not here to have barber shit going on. It's kind of noisy. So we're going to go in the lounge part because Will is not giving married men. I'm just saying, maybe, but it looked like a penthouse Playboy palace over there down to the Wicked Gentleman's Barbershop. What do Will be doing over there bringing the ladies sit on that couch, show him his business? I'm not mad, Will. Anyway, Kim was over here looking for his friends, Will and Chris, to co-sign, whatever it is he came over here to express. I don't know. Will is tired of it. He don't want to hear this shit anymore. Kim been going over to the Wicked Barbershop Gentlemen's Club for a while, talking and whining and talking about Trisha. Because she won't get a divorce and I'm tired of it too, Will. It's getting really annoying. Anyway, Ken tells them about the fisticuffs that took place over his house because Marquez was over there pushing people's buttons. And Will is pretty much like, so you put hands on the man, what's going to happen when, he comes back? Because he's coming back. Because he keeps coming back like a cockroach with green eyes. Ken says he's not dealing with it. And Chris and Will is like, but you are dealing with it. It seems like on a regular basis. Hey, Kiwan. Yeah, they said you do. And he said he's not listening. You listen, y'all. You're pissing me off. Him and Trisha get pissed off. You're not listening. Me and Trisha have an absolutely perfect relationship. Our relationship is perfect. Nothing is ever wrong with the relationship until he comes around. Then, I guess things fall apart. I don't know. He said he keeps on making friends with this guy and trying to cater to his needs. And Chris is like, why? You're not trying to marry him. I died. I was like, that is so funny. Why are you doing that? Like, you haven't created any boundaries. You be paying for him to do things. Do you do that because you want the kids to see him? Or do you do that because you want to flex on him later and say, I had to buy your gas. I had to pay for you to come over here because if it were me, I'm not paying for you to do anything. These are your children. Figure out a way. Take the bus. I don't know. Get here if you can. It's just Alabama. Get in your car and go over there. You're in Atlanta. You don't have gas money. Well, then you need to focus on that. You be talking about the long lineage of, whatever you came from. You don't have a friend with gas money because he sure pulled up at that cookout with his, gangster friends looking like NWA. What y'all talking about? What'd you say, Shayna? If they don't talk about Marquez. Well, that's what I said. But now Marquez has messed it up for us because he had to go over there doing too much. Now we got to, I'm okay with Will, though. Because Will speaks with good sense, honestly. Chris, I don't know what Chris had to offer. They're over here, like I said, trying to build relationships. Chris's friendship is going to be limited based on whose side you take in, with Martell. So don't get too dependent on Chris because he's Martell's boyfriend. Just saying. Yeah, his relationship is not perfect. And I feel like Will is tired of listening to the same story. He refers to their relationship as a puzzle missing pieces. Ken said his relationship is not a puzzle with missing pieces. It's a puzzle with too many pieces, and the extra pieces Marquez, and he just needs to go away. He said, if he isn't going to do right, then what is his purpose? I have to agree with that. Like, first I was like, go away. Yeah. Marquez. Either come over here and be a father and spend some time with your children while you're in town. Y'all, we got FaceTime. We got all kinds of way to communicate with the kids. Make time to do that since you live in another state. Otherwise, shut the frick up. If you're not going to be, adding you put 5 on it, down to the dance competition for your daughter, as you should have. So, keep putting 5 on it here and there. If that's what you got, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's judging, but as a father, do your part or get the hell on, because you're going to make Ken have coronary. And Trisha, I mean, I guess we're going to say this as long as we know her girl, but get a divorce. Because, you're making things even worse. You do not have to marry Ken. Ken can relax. But you should most definitely divorce Marquez. If he got your blood pressure that high, then why the hell do you have him around? It's ridiculous. Dinner with the Scotts. Well, Maurice is in his feelings because Jalen sees Marceau as a father figure. So I'm guessing that's really weighing on him. And it's not weighing on him because he cares about having a relationship with Jalen. It's weighing on him because it's making him look bad. And Maurice do not like you out in these streets besmirching his reputation and disparaging his reputation. Be mad at your daggone self, Maurice. How are you going to be mad? I guess he's not mad at Marceau yet, but I feel like most people like Marceau better. I feel like this is a thing. Most people, when interacting with them, like Marceau better. Marceau is nerve-wracking, but likable. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're married to him. So, that's the case probably for most men. People be like, he fun, but I couldn't. She could have it. Like I said, Maurice is not even a father figure to Monster. That's probably Kaya was her husband who plays that role in Monster's life. Maurice only has Monster around part of the time, and that's Kimmy's job. So Kimmy did a great job of raising Jalen and probably doing a good job, of taking care of Monster when he's there. Kimmy, much like Ken over here, I can't say really like Ken because Kaya will I have to take her side. You went over there and entered yourself in a relationship where people were in the middle of whatever it was they were in the middle of. So, the crossover always causes problems. That's all I have to say about that. If you run into a relationship with everybody being completely single, that doesn't mean exes and children don't exist. It just means they're not still fooling around with each other. When there's a crossover, then there's always going to be problems between the women because the men create, what do they call it? Triangulation or, I'm trying to stay abreast of the proper terms. We're going to get off of narcissist. We're going to get off of be my protector. What's the other one that's getting on my damn nerves? Not Kimmy raising Maurice. Well, she must have got him too late because he ain't get the same kind of, charm. I don't know. Monster don't say much. Monster has his mama's personality, but what he doesn't have is a relationship with Maurice, really. Every time we see them together, Monster seems very much uncomfortable. This last time when Kimmy was gone, Monster was like, when is she coming back? I didn't want to be stuck here with you. I'm just saying. I think Monster likes Kimmy. Unlike Jalen, who don't really care for you. He doubles down on his bullshit, that Maurice, because, like y'all said before, he came over here, to prove himself right. He did not come over here to resolve anything with anyone. He comes up with this stupid logic where the older kids are supposed to be in a position to parent the younger kids. That's their role. When the parents aren't there, then the responsibility is then left on the young or the next older, the older kid. So that's his reason for, I don't know, making a difference. So basically, if What did he say? How did he say it? If there's not a problem, then there's no problem that needs to be solved or something. Trying to imply, I feel like if I had asked you to do something, then it needed to be done. And I mean, Jalen's point is, and your son wasn't doing that either. When you're parenting children, you say, y'all, get up. The trash needs to be put out. This needs to be done. Both of y'all, get your ass up off the video game and let's get this list taken care of. That's how you handle that. You don't ask Jalen to do it because he's the oldest. And by your own logic, you don't make sense because you're the oldest. And I can't imagine any time where you ever were smarter than Marceau or ever been able to like be in charge of Marceau. Why is Marceau the father figure then? If you're, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you supposed to be next in line? You ain't nobody's father figure. Not, and you got other kids, daughters. You got grown kids. Why don't we talk about them ever? Clearly his hands was off of them too. That's what Kimmy said. He's hands off. I want a hands off father. Let me run down to the barbershop so I can get him to marry me. Kimmy said he was treating Jalen bad before Monster was, yeah, basically. That's why I said a lot of this falls on her. Like, well, if you see like your child is not bonding with this man, I'm not saying don't date him, but just let him be your boyfriend in his own house. And you can be, you know what I'm saying? Until Jalen is old enough to not need that. Because it don't seem like nobody wants their kid to feel like their partner that he don't like me. Kimmy, I'm going to put it on you. You the mama. Like the way they put it, or how did Tisha put it, that Jalen should have been over there trying to seek a relationship with Marceau. Whew. Maurice. Jesus. Maurice. I'll say that again. Tisha said that Jalen should have been, trying to reach out to Maurice instead of to Kimmy. Why? So I can get some bad advice from a guy I don't really like that much, because that's what he was basically saying. I didn't really like you that much. I like your brother better. He actually liked me. And that's what Kimmy said. Kimmy said Jalen felt like Maurice liked him. Girl. That's a mouthful. And it's heartbreaking. For you to sit up there and say that with a stupid ass grin on your face, Kimmy. Kimmy said people gravitate towards people that they like. Marceau does like Jalen. Jalen likes Marceau. He thinks he's a bad businessman. And I feel like when he was working at Black, that had put a strain on their relationship. That's probably why he didn't like it, because he's like, he likes Marceau. He doesn't want it to turn into a thing. That's why you ain't supposed to really be working with family, like that, and friends. That's what they say. When Kimmy said that, Maurice followed up with but something. What'd you say, Shayna? Shayna said, I'm definitely placing blame on Kimmy. She's such a pick-me and wanted marriage so bad, she overlooked the treatment of her son. It's disgusting. Like, I really got upset listening to her say that with a grin on her face the whole time. Yep, Kimmy she used to be everybody's favorite. Not anymore. But this just made me feel another type of way that I didn't, because I'm like, Kimmy, why? You stood up here, everything that she said about Maurice was negative. Kaya was when we first met Kaya, she had a dark cloud over her face. Now when we see Kaya, she's, happy to be free of him. Looking at Kimmy like, congratulations, girl. Just saying. Maurice followed her up with but something, but Marceau didn't let him get it out, because he's like, bruh, if you're going to follow up with but, that means you're not listening to what the person said. He's not been listening this whole time. He's only been trying to defend. He said that Jalen was raised well, as if he had played a part in that. How you play a part in raising somebody that doesn't like you and generally tries to stay away from you? He didn't seem like he really wanted to play pool. He's like, now I got to go talk to this nigga. Kimmy probably asked him to do it. She probably was like, Jalen, please. It's for the show. We're going to get canceled if we don't make things interesting. So we're going to put your life out there. I feel like I'm glad Jalen got a chance to say the truth. Is Kimmy low-key like doing stuff to get back at Maurice for the way he treated her while she was in treatment? I don't know, Kimmy. Blame yourself, because it seems like you're still doing things to protect Maurice. Marcel told Maurice he was the golden child. He was like, you were the golden child, and Jalen sees Monster as the golden child 2.0. And he didn't like that. What are you talking about? He all up in his feelings. His voice then elevated a little bit. Marie said, now you sound like Chris Fletcher. And I was like, what? Uh-oh. Subject change. Diversion. I feel a detour here. We're going to start spilling stuff on Marcel. Marcel, you were the one over there signing NDA. That's what it sounded like. Marie said, I want you to tell the truth. And Marcel's like, what are you talking about? Are you calling me a liar? Yes, you lie all the time. What is the lie? We were talking about how you are an ain't shit daddy and an ain't shit stepfather also, too, as well. What'd you say, T? I feel like she's T says she making her escape plan. I hope that's what it is, but I feel like she's, let's don't give her too much credit. We're just at episode 3, so let's see where we're going with this. But she damn sure put him on blast, and she called him all kind of negative things. She just have one nice thing to say about her husband, and she brought him in front of other people. She started out with a little fireplace date night at your house with, some hot tea that he didn't appreciate. She brought him hot tea, and his response was, that's all we have. Woo, what a joy. What a joy of a husband he is. Anyway, he deflects, and that's where we ended. It's to be continued with Maurice and Marcel pretending as if they're going at it. But we're not about to do that because both of them have too much to lose to be sitting up here spilling all the drama, on this show. They'll just do it on the internet and then pretend like they don't know what we're talking about. We'll cover it on their Instagram. Child, you know how they do it. Anyway, next week, Jalen meets up with the Scott brothers. He's probably so tired of these two. Jalen must be leaving to Colorado for real. I feel like they're giving him, a farewell tour since, we haven't seen him since, last season. Not very much. We haven't really seen a whole lot of Jalen. So that's probably a good thing, Jalen. Keep them out of your business. You came over here to give them a little. Now they're requiring you to come back over here and meet with these daggone Scott brothers again. No, he doesn't want to do business with you. Either one of y'all. And then Nell has conflict with the Scott wives. But, Nell is a little cuckoo. I'm sorry. After I seen her flip out about that freaking room that, because her bed didn't have a name on it or something silly. Now I'm looking at her sideways. And now she wants to call all her friends, she's their counselor and their mentor and stuff. Now, find something to do. And Marcel confronts Chris Fletcher about that whole NDA thing. And now Chris Fletcher goes sit up there and say that's not true. Chris Fletcher, we sat there watching you say it. So anyway, I guess we'll find out, how this is all going to play out next week, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. What do I got going on next? Tomorrow, Ready to Love, 7 o'clock. Be there. Don't be square. Tuesday, The King's Court. Also at 7 o'clock. And sometimes between now and tomorrow morning, Project Runway. It won't be live, but I'll be there. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday, and I'm out.